major project. This is grade 4. I'll be doing grade 4. All right, we got Stan. Stan has mild intellectual disabilities. High incident. Has emotional and behavior disorder. He does have a TA. Fun fact about Stan, two of them actually. One, Stan is an Eminem fan. Hopefully somebody gets that. And Stan does not like to be called Stanley. Stanley is a trigger. Beth. Beth has learning disabilities, ADHD, high incident. Just do a medicine check. Got to make sure she takes her medicine. She does have a TA as well. She likes to help. Her fun fact: she loves to help. So she's often my teacher assistant. So I have 3. I'm lucky. Ruth. Ruth has hearing impairment. Her hearing is less than 70%. It's low incidental. Incident. Excuse me. We just do hearing aid checks, and by that I mean making sure we have it as well as the batteries charged, and we have backup batteries. Uh, and I just monitor because she doesn't have a TA. She does sometimes forget to charge or have it charged and ready for class. So we have us a little signal so we can make sure that we can get that checked with it being conspicuous and no one else knows. So it's real quick and it's just like every day, like nothing. It's just like routine. All right, our yearly map. Start out with your introduction. Everybody's excited. Get to class. Get school started. That's week 1. We'll be trying to get those instant games or instant activities just drilled into the students' head. So we'll play a lot of games that day. We'll go over the rules and procedure. And after we go over the rules and procedures, we'll play a game called PE Party, which is basically like Mario Party if someone's played it before, where you roll the dice, deuce, go across the board, and you have games that you play. The mini games will be the instant activities, which you'll incorporate later throughout the year so that you don't have to worry about directing the students what to do that first 15 minutes of class so you can get your role, all those things taken care of, all those logistics you need to do to set up your class at the beginning. Just looking at skills that'll be learned or walk, run, jump, skip, and new games. We're just building on things that we learned from the 3rd grade. We'll collaborate with the TAs. We'll have audible cones for the for adaptive needing. And noise deafening headphones for Stan, who's not a fan of really loud sudden noises. Week 2 through 3, locomotive, non-locomotive movement. 4 through 7 is going to be lacrosse. 8 and 9 are fitness. We're going to get into the wonderful presidential fitness assessment, the PACER test, one of my favorites. And we're going to have a lot of prizes that week for that. The rest of the year looks like this. I'm going to just highlight a few from each of the weeks. You got educational gymnastics. We're going to talk about that more later. So I don't have to say much here because the rest of my presentation will be about educational gymnastics. So we'll talk about that. That'll be covered in the second 9 weeks. Third 9 weeks, you got basketball. I'm going to talk about basketball because I have it twice. It will be an entire month. Hopefully, I normally try to do it around March for March Madness so that it can go hand in hand and hopefully we can inspire some children to at least look at other activities. And what I mean by other activities, if they're not a fan of sports or something like that. And then I love basketball, so I'm biased. That's why it's there. That's just all the honesty. Fourth 9 weeks, field day. I'm looking forward to that because this will be my first time in the elementary whenever Corona's over with, and I'll be excited to do a field day. I have ideas and things like that to see what I can get to come to fruition for my school and the kids, and hopefully it's something that they enjoy. So that's what we're looking for there. All right, right into educational gymnastics. Our focus students, again, Stan, Beth, and Ruth. We have Stan. He has poor social skills, lower level intellectual. Beth, issues with procedure, task, and literature comprehension. Ruth, with her hearing aid, can hear at 70%, is a decent lip reader and no sign language. All right, general adaptations for just the whole unit. TA assigned partners, teacher assigned partners, excuse me, for adapted PE students. Additional time, multiple attempts, directions repeated, reduced number of questions, sign language interpreting, note taking, captions on the video, seat close to the teacher, dialogue, constant dialogue with your TA so that when we're actually in the game, which is doing the lesson, that we are all on the same page and we can help each other out. Stan will have fewer questions, simplified tasks, noise deafening headphones for days that he feels the music's too loud. We'll try to accommodate that just by having on at a lower level, but if it's still too loud, then giving him that so the others can get that experience. Uh, Alternative assignment, in case he's not feeling like he wants to participate in a group setting that day. Maybe he wants to do it individually. He feels he'll be able to complete it better like that. So giving him that option for that. Safety check, just making sure that we're staying safe and going over those things. Just asking him how he feels. Creating that bond with him. You can a lot of times diffuse problems a lot better. Beth, simplified instructions, safety check, medicine check. Alternative individual assignment on those days where she's not feeling like she wants to work in a group or with a partner. Ruth will have captions on video, preferential seating, and hearing aid check. So make sure that battery's charged. We did our thumbs up or pound on the chest, and we're good to go. All right, so in week 2, first day, you got your pre-test, basic gymnastic skills. Students will watch a video they watched the video the previous week, and now they'll be doing a pre-test over some new cues that they'll be learning this week. General adaptation will be fewer questions for Stan and Beth. Ruth will have preferential seating. Second day of class, you have self-assessment and written feedback. Adaptations will be just additional time, additional attempts, things so that they can get that confidence that they need. On day 3, we got a peer assessment, tumbling. Make sure that the TAs are monitoring closely on those days because there'll be positive feedback from each other and making sure that those social interactions are good between the students while they're using the smart board for the assessment. Students will record themselves the next day and there'll be a written feedback, and then we want to make sure we're using positive feedback as well there, keeping those social interactions good so that we can keep the spirits up and bring more people to just being active. General adaptations, Stan and Beth TA will be close. Preferential seating for Ruth, excuse me. And then just those other daily general adaptations. And then the last day, preferential seating will be for Ruth. Stan and Beth will also have their TAs present and making sure that everything's good to go with them. There'll be a teacher checklist, and we'll just be reviewing those recordings of the students. All right, so for my breakdown, I picked day 7. The unit and skill that we're on, again, gymnastics. Specific skill is tumbling. The major focus, we're on shoulder roll, forward roll, back shoulder, and cartwheel. Assessments will be a peer and a teacher checklist as well as a reflection. Class size 25 students, 60-minute class, and they're utilizing the skill, so it'll be utilization. Stand adaptation for him. We have additional time. He'll have multiple attempts, directions repeated, reduced number of questions, seat closer to the teacher, and then just making sure that we're monitoring, and if he needs breaks, giving him additional breaks when needed. Beth will have an assigned partner as well, additional time, multiple attempts, a seat close to the teacher if needed. TA will be present, making sure the medication is checked. And Ruth, last but not least, make sure that her batteries are charged in her hearing aid and captions on, and student objectives. You got psychomotor, use movement concepts aligned with proper form for shoulder roll, forward roll, back roll, and cartwheel, utilizing video recording and positive and descriptive feedback. Cognitive is going to explain how movement principles are used in a variety of educational gymnastic experiences, self-assessment. And effective is going to be apply safety principles in all physical activities, and post-activity reflect exit ticket, and 80% mastery on that, just completing that activity. Phases of the lesson, we got our instant activity warm-up. We're going to ask Stan how he's feeling today. Let him know that we're covering his favorite topic, tumbling. And he'll get pumped and ready for that. Beth, make sure she took her medication and allow her to lead the instant activity for the day. Ruth, we're going to greet and do our little signal to make sure the battery is all good. Then we'll move to our informing task. Stan will have his selected partner, Dre, who he works relatively well with. And then we're going to go over our safety checks. Beth will have her selected partner, Ann, who is a great friend of hers. We'll go over our safety check as well. And this will all be during that activity. And we're going over that safety check together for everyone, and especially Stan, Beth. Just repeating those directions. Ruth will have a seat in the front, so she'll be able to hear everything. Culminating activity, TAs will be present, but they'll be in a light, gradual release because the students will be tumbling on a mat across the gym, and for that we want to make sure that everybody's safe, so they'll be there for that. Beth will have her TA present, but be more so just observing for safety and all those things, same as with Stan. And Ruth will have a conspicuous signal to let me know that she understood everything that I said, and we have to move in that activity. And our closure assessment, Stan, I have a limited question for closure. Beth will have her questions read, and Ruth will have her questions written so that she can hear them. Outside of the planned accommodations, I will get specialized equipment. There's a variety of equipment out that's expensive and it's hard to get, but those are things that I would implement into it. Make sure we get high contrast and some of the latest and greatest technology with the projectors where the kids can do the activities on there, having those, and it would engage the students equally. Student stars, where you just have your students in the school, it's everybody, but just so it's not just the popular kids always at school getting things, but it's where they're just seen being responsible, and they get a variety of gifts and things like that to just let them know they're special. And then having specialized training for the entire staff so that everyone can be on the same page and they can understand how these different disabilities work and ways that they could assist. And then basically it'd be like a big family working to assist everyone. So I want to thank you for listening. My name again is Jim Harbin. And my contact information is here. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate.